quick lesson today. We're just quickly going to go over the guidelines for your visual argument paper. I'm also going to go over the rubric, and we're really quickly just going to break down an advertisement, kind of what I want you to do with like in your paper. So I'm going to give you like a quick sample of what you should be doing and what you should be examining when it comes to an ad. So quickly, let me share the screen so that I can go over the guidelines and kind of go over the rubric with you all so that you get a better idea of what I'm looking for. So here's our Canvas page. And if you scroll down to week 3, here we have the guidelines. Here we have the guidelines. So here, let's read the guidelines and then we can go over the rubric. So for the guidelines, basically this paper is 4 to 5 pages. And when I mean 4 to 5 pages, I mean 4 pages all the way to the bottom. So it can't be 3 pages and a paragraph. That doesn't make it 4 pages. That's 3 pages and a paragraph. If you want to do it 4 pages, it's like 4 pages all the way to the bottom. And you can choose an advertisement, whether it be print, whether it be television, it could be a meme, it could be an SNL skit, it could be an image, it could be something that you see on Instagram. Basically anything that is a visual, that is relevant or controversial works great for this assignment. And what you're going to be doing is you're going to be kind of like evaluating what the purpose of the visual is, who is the audience, what were they intending the audience to get or to do when they looked at this advertisement. So you're going to be examining all of that. So here are the questions that we are going to be looking at. So the first thing is, what is your artifact? So when I refer to the artifact, I'm referring to your visual. Usually when we are looking at it from a research perspective, at least in the communication studies field, when you're examining an object or a text or a visual, we call it the artifact. So that's why it is called the artifact in this case. So you're going to describe the artifact. So there's no need for you to copy and paste the picture or put a copy of the meme in your paper. I don't want you to do that. I want you to describe it to me in your own words. So the first part of your essay should be you describing to me what your visual is, like what it looks like, the positioning, who is in it, what is the product they're trying to sell, the background, all of that. Like explain to me what your visual looks like. So that's what the first question is. First thing that you're going to be doing in your paper is describing the artifact or your visual, like what is your visual, what's going on in it. And the second thing that you're going to be doing is you're going to be describing who the audience is for this particular artifact. So for example, if you're looking at a perfume, is it advertising targeted women? Is it targeting men? Is it targeting women who are higher class, women lower class? Like you have to be descriptive as to who is the audience that they're appealing to. If you have any questions about audiences and how to figure out your audience, you're able to go back to chapter 3 that discusses audience analysis, and it kind of like explains to you like what are the different characteristics of an audience. So if you have questions in regards to that, you're able to go back and look into that. So you're going to tell us who the audience is, be very specific. You can't just say everybody, or you can't just say women. Women from what age range? Are we talking about heterosexual women, or are we talking about, like feminine women? Like be specific. So that's the second question that you're going to be answering. The third question that you're going to be answering, and this is the question where you need the 3 outside sources to back up your arguments, is the one that says, what is the discourse? In other words, the conversation, the bigger picture, the controversy that this artifact is addressing. So like we were talking about on Tuesday, visuals don't really just visuals say more than words, right? There's always a hidden meaning, a bigger conversation, a bigger issue that particular visual is addressing. So in this part of your essay, you're going to be letting me know like what's the bigger conversation or the bigger, topic that this advertisement is describing. So if you are looking at, if you're looking at a makeup brand, does it like, what does it say about it? Does it tell you like standards of beauty or what beautiful is considered to be? If you're looking at a clothing line, is it talking about inclusivity, or is it giving you an idea of what beautiful is? If you're talking about food, is it telling you about like, healthiness, or is it telling you about like the convenience or fast food? Like, what is the bigger picture that this artifact fits into? And for this part of the assignment, you are going to use 3 outside sources. And for those of you who are wondering what kind of outside sources I want you to use, because it is a visual, and because it is something that I'm looking for something current, you can use any, blogs, websites you find, in a quick Google search that can help you back up your claim. Also, people get confused when it comes to this part of the assignment because they think that they have to find articles or websites that particularly address that advertisement. You don't have to find articles or websites that particularly address the visual that you're talking about. They're just websites that address the bigger issue that the visual is being discussed. So for example, if you have a picture of a Maybelline mascara and that's what you're analyzing, you are not researching for controversy in Maybelline mascara article. That's not what you're researching. You're researching what you think the bigger picture is. So if you're thinking that, in order beauty, like, beauty or image, okay, so what, then you're going to look for articles about beauty in the media, beauty and makeup, false ideal of beauty, or whatever it is that you're addressing. So you're going to find 3 outside sources that back up your claim. Again, I'm not very picky. I don't want them to be like scholarly articles or anything like that. As long as they are 3 sources that kind of back up your argument of what the bigger picture is, that's fine with me. The last part of your paper that you're going to be answering is the accuracy test. Like, so what are the accuracy tests? We kind of like went over them on Tuesday. We talked about the accuracy test being, first part of the accuracy test was like, is the image that is being represented, is it accurate? Is it manipulating your emotions? Is it being represented in the appropriate way? So again, those questions that I went over in the lecture on Tuesday for the accuracy test, those are the questions that you're going to be answering at the very end of your paper. So you're only answering 4 questions in your paper, and the only place where you're going to need 3 outside sources to support your claim is for question number 3 that talks about the conversation or the controversy or the bigger picture that you're addressing. So these right here, these are the questions that I want you to answer. This is what I want you to focus on when you're writing your essay. Next, let's talk about the guidelines. So the paper must be double spaced, Times New Roman, 12-point font, makes it easier on my eyes to read. It has to be a minimum of 4 pages. I discussed it already with you all. 4 pages means 4 double spaced pages all the way to the bottom. That's 4 pages. I want you to use concepts that you learned from chapter 10. That's extremely important because this entire paper is based on your understanding of chapter 10. So I want you to use all the concepts from chapter 10. Obviously, when you're looking at the audience, you're also going to be using concepts from chapter 3, which discusses audience analysis. Make sure that you use in-text citations in MLA format when you are referring to the 3 outside sources in your paper. And also make sure that you do have a works cited page that lists the sources that you are using in your paper. And if you have questions as like, MLA format or anything like that, shoot me an email. I'll send you a link of a website that can help you use MLA format in an effective manner. Now, another thing that is another component of your paper is a presentation. Your paper is accompanied by a 4-minute presentation on Flipgrid. And again, the same way that you did the conflict styles presentation at the beginning of the semester, that's the same thing you're going to be doing using the same application Flipgrid for your visual argument presentation. And for the presentation, you have 4 minutes and you only have 3 questions to answer. What is your artifact saying? In other words, describe it to us. What's the bigger argument in your artifact? Who is the audience? And do you think that this artifact was affecting at, selling the product, pushing a certain argument forward. Do you think it was effective? Why or why not? So there's only 3 questions that you have to answer in your presentation. Obviously, if you have more time and you don't meet like, you know, the 4 minutes of the presentation, you can obviously talk about different areas of your paper that you think are relevant and that you want to discuss with us. It's not required, but you have to meet 4 minutes in the presentation. So I highly encourage you to rehearse your presentation ahead of time yourself, and you know, add or take away information as you see, depending on the time. Your paper is a total of 60 points and your presentation is a total of 20, making your assignment worth a total of 80 points. A lot of you have brought up that the, you know, the paper submission box is not up there. It will open for you all on Saturday or, you know, Saturday or Sunday at midnight. So you'll be able to start submitting your work Sunday at midnight. So after going over the guidelines, does anybody have any questions in regards to the paper? Just anything.
I have a quick question about the presentation.
Go for it.
So it says that we're supposed to like show the artifact. Does that mean we show it while we're filming the video?
So that's a great question. Thank you for asking. So because of the assignment is made to be done in a classroom setting, but because they're doing it in an online environment, what I mean by showing the visual is just if you're using a print ad, just print out the picture and show it to us, or you can show us a picture on your phone, your tablet, you can print it out, or if it's a video, you can describe the video to us and like show us a screenshot of the video. It just depends what it is that you're using, but I don't want you to do any of that screen sharing or anything like that because it will make it more confusing. So you can just simply print out a picture or show it to us in your phone or something like that, and that will be fine.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Any other questions? Well, if you come up with any other questions, just let me know before we end class today. So I also wanted to go over the rubric so that you know how I'm going to be grading you when it comes to this assignment. So our rubric is right here. And basically, this is what I'm going to be looking at. This is what I'm going to be. Why is it not showing? Give me 1 second. So I have no idea why it's not showing, but it should be there. Let's see. I have absolutely idea why it's not showing. I have no idea why it's not showing, but if it continues not to like show, I will definitely re-upload it, but let me quickly show it to you over here. Rubric. Here it is. I have no idea why it's not showing, but have absolutely no idea why it's not showing for me. Here it is.
Professor,
Yes.
overall, like pretty much the guideline, if we address all those questions you want to see in our paper, that's pretty much, oh, there it goes. Okay.
There it is. Yes, I don't know why it wasn't showing, but I will you know, delete it and re-upload it so that you're able to see it, but this is what I'm going to be looking at. So yeah, kind of like what you were saying, you know, if you answer the question, so as you can see, describing the artifact is question number 1. Describing the intended audience is question number 2. How it fits into a bigger picture, 3. The accuracy test, 4. The 3 sources, again, punctuation, grammar, format, so make sure that you proofread your paper before you submit. And the last 20 points are for your presentation. Make sure it's well prepared, that it is that you meet the time, which is 4 minutes, and that it is organized. It's not just like, you know, put together at the last minute, and that you answer the 3 questions that I have online, which is what is your artifact saying, who is the audience, and do you think it was effective? So this is exactly what I want, what I will be looking for when it comes to your paper. And again, I know that like you weren't able to see it right now because I have no idea what happened on Canvas, but I will definitely be re-uploading it because I think that that's not cool that it's not there. So in regards to the rubric, does anybody have any questions in regards to the rubric?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
Okay. So the next thing that we're going to do is I actually thought that it would be a great idea for, I thought it would be a fabulous idea for me to just kind of like break down an artifact with you all to, you know, just to like help you out with that. So let's do that right now. Let's do that. Let me see. I'm just trying to see if the rubric will actually work this time around. It is. You're able to see it now. Okay. So let me break down an advertisement that I had picked out. We're going to try to answer the questions as if we were writing the paper based on this artifact. So, okay, here it is. Let me share the screen with you all. Okay, so I picked this particular artifact because I thought it was really interesting. So it's this one. It's a Heinz. It's a Heinz ad that says no one grows ketchup like Heinz. And that's the artifact that I'm looking at. So if I were to start my paper, I would start with the first question, right? Kind of explaining what the artifact looks like. So I would start by saying background of the advertisement is red, the font is written in white, and we see a ketchup bottle being cut up in slices like a tomato, and the writing says no one grows ketchup like Heinz, right? That's what I would describe. To answer my first question, what does the artifact look like? That's what I would explain, right? I would explain the coloring, the writing, what it says, how a ketchup bottle is kind of like chopped up like you would a tomato. And I would explain that the logo of the Heinz company is in the advertisement. So that's the first thing that I would do. That would be how it would introduce my paper. Now, the second thing that we would be doing is like, you know, who do we think the intended audience is? So I'm going to post this question to you all. Who do you think the audience for this ad is?
Can I answer?
Yeah, of course, absolutely.
I think it's addressing, well, right away, seeing like the fresh tomato made me think of people that are like conscious about whether their food is, you know, fresh or not. Like if it's coming through organic sources, because organic is a big thing, or like, or is it just preservatives? So that's one, I guess, group of people.
I love that. So we could say that the audience is, you know, they're addressing, you know, like probably adults, because I don't think it will be for children, because
Oh, right.
children would care. But it would be more like adults who are conscious about what they put in their bodies, who seek fresh, fresh and organic, people who stay away from non-GMOs and stuff like that, right? So people who eat fresh. Good. I love that, Imelda. And I also appreciate what John and Andrew are saying, you know, like more organic, fresh, healthy, people who just want to eat healthier, right? So that's good. Perfect. So that's how I would describe who the audience is. Perfect. Third question. What is the bigger picture this fits into? Like, what is this advertisement truly saying? How does it fit into a bigger conversation? And I think a lot of people are just like tiptoeing around it, but what is the bigger picture about this?
That Heinz is still the #1 ketchup producer.
Okay, that makes sense. So there's also part of that. Good. But Heinz is superior to other brands, but why is it superior, particularly in this advertisement? What makes Heinz superior? It's more natural, right?
Natural, yeah. It's staying true to its roots, like the history of Heinz. They're the first company to put their product in clear bottles, and just to prove to people that their product was not going to go stale on them back in the 1800s.
Okay, good. I love that. So it's more natural, and I think just kind of like going with what you were saying, you were all kind of like tiptoeing around it, but I think the bigger picture that this fits into is the fact that, you know, we have, you know, and specifically in the United States, we have issues with people not eating healthy, and, you know, obesity going in the rise, you know, people just eating fast food, not eating healthy. And the bigger picture is saying, like, you know, even, you know, like Heinz is trying to kind of like jump on the bandwagon, saying like, you know, oh no, like we can be healthy, like, you know, we want to keep you all healthy, like, you know, we're the #1 company, we want to keep you healthy. We know that there's a rise in obesity, we know that people are, you know, getting more and more diseases for eating processed food and things like that, but we are not like that. We are, you know, our ketchup literally comes from a tomato, so like we're healthy. So you would find for this particular part of this, yeah, we're a healthy brand, like John is saying. So for this part of the assignment, you would find articles that kind of like support the idea of, you know, like how America is not eating healthy. You would find like sources of like obesity in the United States, or the rise of like, you know, health conditions due to the food that we eat that are related to that. So that's like the bigger picture that I think you could fit into when it comes to this particular advertisement. So as you can see, the bigger picture or the conversation that an ad fits into is a lot more deeper than what we see. So yeah, like we can definitely, I agree with you all. I think that Heinz is definitely has a monopoly on everything. Like when you think of ketchup, you think of Heinz, absolutely. But I think that the deeper conversation of this is that they're trying to prove that they can be healthy, because America has a problem with eating unhealthy junk food. And they're saying we can make ketchup, what is often considered an unhealthy food, into something healthy. So when you're looking at your advertisements, just don't look at the bigger picture just from what you see. Dig deeper into it to see what truly the bigger picture is, what the conversation that the advertisement is having. So if you look at makeup, it's not just like, oh, wear makeup and you'll be beautiful. Just look deeper into that. Does it mean that, you know, there's higher beauty standards for certain groups of people? Dig a little bit deeper, and then you'll be able to find the full bigger picture of your advertisement. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Cool. Now, if I were to apply the accuracy test to this, the first thing that I would look at is, you know, is the artifact accurately being portrayed? What do y'all think?
No.
No, absolutely. You know, whatever they say, doesn't matter what they say, it's still some type of processed sauce, and it doesn't look like it has fresh tomato inside. It's in a bottle, doesn't look like a tomato, right? And also, like John is saying, it has sugar. So no, it's not just a tomato that has been, you know, pureed and put inside a bottle. No, absolutely. It's not being accurately portrayed. Do you think this, and again, going with that, the image does not look real either. It's not real like that. Next, do you think you're being manipulated by this artifact?
Definitely.
Absolutely, right? Just looking at it, it makes you feel like you're eating healthy, right? Like it's not too bad. And it's appealing through our emotions, you know, by using like shaping the bottle like a tomato, feeling like you're healthy, right? And that's basically what you're going to be doing with your accuracy test. You're going to be looking if it's accurately depicted, you know, if it's real, is it manipulating your emotions? Like what, like, you know, what it's doing to you is what you're going to be looking at. So if you all need any more help and just trying to figure out how to break out advertisements, I also attach a video to our guidelines for the visual argument paper that has another sample that I broke down for you all as well. So there's something else that you can refer to in case you feel like you need another example to just like help the concept sink in. I do have attached a video at the very bottom of the visual argument guidelines that you can look at, so that this is not your only example. I will also be, I will try to put in the lectures of Tuesday and of today as soon as tomorrow, so that you can have it ready for when you start working on your paper. But I hope that me going over this kind of like help you have a better understanding of just what to look for, like what you are going to be looking at when it comes to your paper, like what are the areas you should focus on and all of that. Does anybody else have any questions, comments?
I think everything sounds pretty straightforward. Thank you again for the extra video and for describing going over an advertisement just now. I think the whole bigger picture, just reviewing the video that I chose for the assignment, like I could definitely dig a lot deeper into.
Awesome. I'm glad that you were able to figure that out just from the sample that I ran through. And again, if you need another example to help you just dig in a little bit deeper, I do have that video. I did one on like, I think it's like a perfume, like a women's perfume. That should also be able to help you a lot more.
Yeah, I did. I watched it already. It's good. Yeah.
Awesome. Anyways, with that being said, I'm going to give you the rest of the allotted class time so that you can go ahead and take the midterm or start working on your paper. I'm going to be looking at grading your assignments right now and seeing if any of you have already posted your topic approval so that I can give comments on it. And with that being said, you're free to go, folks. Have a lovely weekend.
Awesome. You too.
Thank you.